Today we're going to take a look at the two ways to remove duplicates. What I'm looking at here is our demo account, and the first way we're going to take a look at is running the duplicate removal wizard, which actually finds them and walks you through the steps of removing them. So let's open the duplicate contact wizard from the go-to menu. Click next, and let's find any individuals. You can find companies that are duplicates by selecting companies here. What it means to have these things checked is that it's going to look for all company names that have exact matches in them. If there are some that have exact matches, when you click next, it'll show you a list of them. If you want to find ones that are the same company name and have the same phone number, you would check both of those and hit next. This would be common if you had a bunch of distributor branch locations that all had the same name in your system, but they each have their own individual phone numbers. By adding in the business phone number here, we actually will get a list of just the locations that have the same phone numbers, and then can remove those rather than coming up with a list of all the branches with the same names. For our demo account here, what we're going to do is take a look at the individuals, and we're going to find all the individuals that have the same and first and last names. Click next. Presented with a list of them here, so we have 4 in our system that are duplicated. So let's look at Mary Jones. Hit next, and I'd just like to stretch this out a little bit so we can see some more information, but we have 2 Mary Jones entries, one for ABC Paper Company Inc., and the other apparently is not linked to a company. There's a number of different ways you can get duplicates into the system, whether you imported something from Outlook or from a sales system or some report that a manufacturer sent to you, or it's just from a lead list of a show you went to. Importing items is a typical way you get duplicates. Also, if you've entered a new entry in your mobile device and then synchronized it to Mrs.Ware, there's another case of where a duplicate might come in. So it's quite common to have duplicates in the system, and that's why we have these kinds of tools to help you remove them. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to select the one I want and mark it as keep, and the one that I want to merge into it, I click merge. I just generally, in this case here, I'm pretty sure those are the same contact because there's no information down here on the other one. So I'm just going to mark the one with the most information to keep and remove the other one, or merge it into it. Generally we do merging instead of deleting, so that way in case somebody did accidentally log a journal activity or an appointment with this entry for Mary Jones, any of that kind of associated information will move into the one we kept. So now we don't lose any information by doing this, and we're just left with the one unduplicated contact. So let's go ahead and hit next. It's telling us what it's moving. In this case, it's one relationship was entered under that other Mary Jones, and it also had a different contact category. So we're just going to hit next. It's going to move those things together. It's going to delete the duplicate, and then we're all set, and we're back to our list. Let's take a look at John Calvin. Okay, he's another ABC Paper guy. We must have done some importing for ABC Paper or something. We can see here in this particular case that most of the information is the same, except this John Calvin here has a personal email address where this one did not have one. So what I'm going to do is the same thing again. I'm going to say keep this John Calvin and merge this John Calvin, and what that's going to do is any of the information down here that doesn't already exist in the top line, it's going to move up. So it's going to take this John Calvin email address and fill it into us for us on the one that's kept. So let's do that. And we're all merged there. Now note we have 2 more, Stan Hill and Joe Smith. I'm going to do those using the other method so you can see the other way of merging duplicates. So let's cancel out of this and let's go to our contacts list. And let's scroll down so that we can find Stan Hill. Okay. If we had actually looked at it in the wizard, we would have seen that one of those Stan Hills was senior and the other was junior. Quite common. A lot of family-run businesses out there, so they do have slightly different phone numbers. Looks like they work at different locations perhaps. So those are valid individual contacts, so we don't need to merge those together. Now let's look at our last duplicate that we had in our list. That last duplicate here was Joe Smith, I believe. So we have one Joe, and then here's the other Joe, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold down the control key and click on him, so now they're multi-selected. Both lines are highlighted, and that was just by holding the control key. Just like we saw in the wizard, some of the information is, or most of the information is in this entry and hardly any is in there. How we get back into the wizard is you just right click on one of these selected entries, say bulk, remove duplicates, and we're right back in the same kind of screen that we just saw in the wizard. We select the one, we select the one we want to keep, select the one we want to merge, verify the information. I always double check everything, make sure I'm doing this right. Be careful on this, because this is a tool that merges two contacts, and once they're merged you can't unmerge them. You could create the other contact again and then move some of the items back, but that's the tedious way to do it. Being careful up front and making sure you're really merging who you think you're merging will be a much safer way to do it. So we'll merge those two guys. In this case, doesn't look like there was any information in that second entry. He was mostly blank, so it's just going to remove it. And we notice our list refreshed here, and we only have one Joe Smith. Those are the two ways to remove duplicates. The first way we saw, we'll go through and find all the duplicates in the system, whether they're companies or contacts. You just run them one at a time, remove all your companies first, then remove any duplicates in your contacts second. The second way, which we saw doing right here in the contact list directly, was using the bulk remove duplicates menu option. And that's a good one. As you're just going through the list and you're working with your contacts on a daily basis, you might find or notice that there's two of a particular individual. Multi-select them and remove them right there without losing your spot. Hopefully you found that helpful. There are also a couple different social.mrsware.com entries with screenshots showing you how to do this as well, so feel free to look it up there.